You guys probably hear me say steward all the time. I know I say it a lot. So today what I want to do is break down what steward means. So in the Bible, steward means to give authority over your household or give authority to something. When I say steward, that means, make sure that you're stewarding over, whatever the Lord places in your hands, whether that's gifts, your finances, your health, different business ideas. That can be a career, that can be a relationship, whatever the Lord places in your hands that He gives you authority over that thing. He wants you to manage it well. He wants you to steward it well. Whenever the Lord places, certain ideas or gives you certain authority to speak and influence others, you should definitely be making sure that you steward that platform well. And when I say steward your platform, we have a lot of, people out here today that are not stewarding their platforms well. Whether you can be a singer, you can be a pastor, you can be an influencer, you can be an artist, you can be, a creative or whatever platform that the Lord gives you to speak or use your talents and gifts in a manner that will glorify Him. If you are not stewarding that platform well, then you will lose it. That's why we have so many pastors out here who have manipulated the Bible to caveat their life and their lifestyle, or they're trying to cater to a certain audience, so they're leaving out certain parts of the Bible. They're not really telling the truth. That's why there was such a big debacle about a year or two ago about, whether, Christians should give 10% of their tithes to the church house. And there was a big debacle about that. And, the ending resolution was, the Lord asked us to give whatever we can, whether that be finances, whether that be your time, if you want to go give to the homeless or however way you want to give back to God's people, that is pretty much up to you. So for so many years, we have been brainwashed into thinking we're supposed to give 10% of our income to the church house when that's not really a thing, or that's not really something that you have to do. A lot of us are in a financial bind. A lot of us are, having a hard time right now. So, you're not going to be crucified if you don't give ABC to the church. And your pastor shouldn't be manipulating you and, trying to gaslight you into thinking that you're going to hell because you're not giving 10% of your income. We have so many pastors that have manipulated, the word and manipulated God's people into thinking such and such is going to happen if you don't do ABC, or, homosexuality. God, loves all people, and He does love all people, but He does dislike the sin. We got to start telling the truth. We got to start raising our voices. We have to start using our platforms in a manner that would glorify and edify God, that they, carry themselves with decency and in order. We have, prophets right now on TikTok that are into it about, who is actual prophet, who is not an actual prophet, who are witches and this and that. I'm just going to say this. If the Lord gives you a message, I feel like there's a certain way to do it. People making videos and attacking people and saying this and saying that and trying to tear down people's character. At the end of the day, God loves all of these people. So for us to be tearing each other down and we making videos and going back and forth, well, the Lord told me this and the Lord told me that, and you not this and you not that. I just feel like it's a way to do everything. That's, a good example of stewarding your platform. And if the Lord has given you a platform, He's given you a voice to speak or sing or dance or whatever the case is, and you're not edifying Him and you're not glorifying Him, or you're not allowing Him to help you, curate or help you to perfect your gifts and craft, and well, not gifts and crafts, but gifts and talents, the Lord will strip you of those things. And another form of disrespect is if the Lord gives you actual gifts and talents and you're not using them at all, like you haven't even tried to tap into them. The Lord gives us gifts and talents as a safety net to create those streams of income, passive income. A lot of us are creative. A lot of us can sing. A lot of us can dance. A lot of us can preach. A lot of us can write books. A lot of us can paint or whatever the case is. Whatever your gift or talent is, and the Lord gives that to you, and you're not using it in the proper manner, or you're not using it at all, it can be stripped away from you. And you will have to deal with those consequences. So, right now we are in some different times. That's why I say it's very important to steward over what you have. If you're not stewarding over that thing or whatever he has placed in your hands, if he gives you a brand new house and you didn't think to clean, or you just your house is dirty, you don't cut the grass or anything like that, eventually the Lord will be like, well, why did I give you a house? You weren't ready for a house, so eventually that thing would be stripped away, or because I've had cars where I didn't take care of them. I barely paid the note, and eventually they were stripped away, so the Lord will give you things to test you, to see how well you steward and how well you're able to value that thing that he places in your hands. And if you don't value it, eventually it will be stripped away. There's a lesson in everything that you do. Whatever the Lord gives to you, whatever ideas he gives to you, go to him in prayer, ask him how to curate that thing, how to, form it into what he wants you to do to edify it or glorify him while doing that thing. Lead, guide, and direct you as always. That's always going to be my message. Allow God to lead, guide, and direct you. Being an entrepreneur, there's no way I could have came up with several streams of income. There's no way I could have formed a business and, had to close a business without learning a lesson behind it and having the strength to form another business right after having one failed business. There is no way that I would have been able to do that all in my own strength. So that's why I say it's very important to partner with the Lord